Mother of my child cheated on me. I'm devastated. Good morning, everyone. I'll try to make this as brief as possible. My 5-year girlfriend and the mother of my 3-year-old kid cheated on me in November. I had brought our kid to my grandparents for the weekend, like I normally do, and she had remained behind our apartment. She requested me to call an Uber for her to visit a friend, didn't answer to my messages the rest of the day, and couldn't account for her time/location the following day when I inquired. On New Year's Eve, she got intoxicated and boasted to a mutual acquaintance that she had banged someone that night, someone I know. According to a mutual acquaintance, I was furious and instructed my ex to gather her belongings and leave the flat. When I inquired about the adultery, she said that she had no option but to cheat since I had become distant, and she believed I no longer loved her. She has returned to a friend's house to figure herself out, and I am presently caring for our kid. I'm heartbroken. She is jobless, retrenched lately, close to homeless, and has no clue when she will find work. She has begged me to purchase her monthly airline tickets so she can see our son until she gets work, but I refuse. We've banned each other on all platforms except WhatsApp, so she can video call our kid, but I'm frightened of what will happen next. I'm a shambles, and she seemed to have gone on. That's cool. Whatever, but I'm concerned about what happens next with our boy and how we'll properly co-parent. If she doesn't find work within the next 6 months, she has raised the notion of bringing our son back, and I provide some form of stipend to support both of them. I'd appreciate any advice, how to heal from the infidelity, and how to successfully co-parent. Story 2. Cheated on days after wedding and 7 years into relationship. I just recently discovered that my newlywed wife had cheated on me many times with her colleague. It's especially difficult since we recently got married after being together for 7 years and postponed our wedding from 2020 to last month due to COVID. But she's been talking to and meeting with this man behind my back for weeks and months, and it's all so new and exciting. We've both been worried about our relationship for months and years due to various priorities, etc. But I can't help but assume she just gave up on us and did this because she wasn't sure in our relationship and so had no moral conscience, to put it mildly. I know she liked this person as well, even though she claims it was nothing. Who knows how deep the relationship is? Anyway, in light of our past worries, I believe that the best thing I can do for myself is to file for divorce and go on with my life. It's the only way I can protect myself from this in the future, and I'll be permanently damaged by their fantasies. Accountability is one of the most important things I've asked for in this circumstance. She caused the mess, therefore she is responsible for cleaning it up. However, she still does not prioritize me or our relationship, going about her business as usual. We've chatted, and she says she doesn't know how I can forgive her, and I'm beginning to believe this was a self-fulfilling prophecy for her. Cheat, cut connections, and move on. I would have accepted the truth, but why did she have to inflict pain on me to get there? It's a shame it had to come to this. If I had known, I would have called off the wedding. I'd only know because I admittedly snooped, but I believe this would have continued behind my back, and I don't believe she regrets the conduct, more so now that she realizes how she affected me and feels horrible. I wish she had had the courage to do the right thing and prioritized me in the first place. Even being more straightforward with her worries and taking proactive measures might have stung a bit at the moment, but it may have saved her a lot of sorrow. Yes, the timing was horrible, but there is no such thing as a perfect moment. Fortunately, we do not have children. We're 29 and 30 years old, and kids were one of the few main issues we had. I was ready to start trying and beginning a family as soon as possible. It is significant to me. She does want to have children in the future, she has told me, but she wants to live her life and not be tied down right now. So it was one of the disconnects we experienced, another being where state to reside in long term, our current location or back near family, etc. But as the wedding approached, I attempted to be a mature and grown-up person, full of hope that we could work things out and have a fantastic future together, despite the fact that we had a 50% chance of divorce if we couldn't. However, for her to do this crime and leave me broken and damaged for the rest of my life, rather than just telling me what was going on in her life and acting maturely about it, irritates me much. I'd want to emphasize that she did not come to me with this knowledge. I did investigate and found text conversations, and evidently she has been confiding in friends/coworkers all along the road, which makes me feel a little bad about them. But in any case, I had to address her, which I did right away, and I offered her the option to come clean about any shady things that was going on, but she did not answer right away. Finally, when I said that I knew she had relations, she admitted and explained. Even then, she said it was just once, when I was out of town for a close friend's wedding without her last weekend. However, in subsequent chats, I was able to persuade her that it had occurred numerous times. She claims twice, who knows, doesn't matter. After a little more prying, not proud, but I felt compelled. I discovered that, what I think, the first time she met him was a few days after our wedding, and she came home and she and I had as well. So she practically double-dipped that night. That was a huge blunder. That's why, despite our particular history of 7+ years together, I believe this is unacceptable. Unfortunately, it will have to be a separate memory for me, and I must now proceed. It's not like she had a chance meeting one night, made a horrible mistake while under the influence, and then came to me with sorrow and repentance. No, I caught her, and now I have to trust myself and begin my new life and reality without her. Our lease is up in a few months, which will be difficult, but I'm going to check into one of us moving out early to begin the separation process sooner. Update. It's just been 5 weeks, yet it seems like a year. I rapidly determined that we should split and divorce, based on a variety of grounds, the most of which are discussed in my OP. I debated whether I could rely on her to move out, or whether I should simply drink the medication and do it myself. She had a buddy, unsurprisingly, one of her confidants, ask her to stay for a bit. And WS/cheater kept asking to leave and give me space early on. So after about a week or two, I took her up on it. She accepted, but then lied to me, claiming that I had booted her out and other such rubbish. But she ended up staying with her for the whole week and informed me she was going to move in with her on Friday. I was startled at how fast it came together at first, but I was okay with it since this was my plan anyhow. Whatever the case may be, it all worked out in the end, and I'm not complaining. Granted, I will be fully responsible for the next few months of lease and rent, but I have considered it, and honestly, I view it as part of the cost of finality in this circumstance. So I've come to terms with it. I could possibly have a roommate soon, so it's actually not a setback at all. Anyway, it's not high on my priority list right now. She did, however, transfer the majority of her belongings during the first couple weeks of December. Once or twice a week, he'd come over and take a vehicle load or whatever. Those were the days when she would nudge me with useless nonsense, effectively blaming me and attempting to boost her own image in the process. Because I work from home, I'm simply sitting there doing my own thing. So I'm like, can you just get your together and leave? We got into it once or twice because we just disagreed with the whole scenario, and obviously, emotions were running high. She nearly completed transferring everything in mid-December, but had to postpone a few items until after the holidays. She was traveling home for about 10 days. It was a bit annoying that she still had a cause to come over and had a key. But at the least, I'd have some peace of mind while she was abroad. I will also have the lease turned over to my name solely, and she will return her key. This is expected to occur very shortly. I am both happy and nervous about that day because I want everything to go well. I want to finish this whole thing, live 2 completely different lives, and then start on the divorce process. I've already completed several documents, but I'd want to have them examined before I begin the formal procedure. Although there are still some issues to work out, I am grateful that we never had children, she is not pregnant, our finances are separate, and we don't have any pets or a home to divide. The worst part is that I am still quite emotionally traumatized. I may be sad one day, angry the next, frustrated the next, and everything in between. The memories we had, the future we had planned for, had all simply gone to right in front of me. I despise her for doing this. I've been telling folks that I'm currently working on 3 portions of a pie. The first component is just recognizing what I need to do, divorce and move on, since our relationship was plainly shattered. The objective and commercial chunk of the pie. The second aspect is that I am truly looking forward to living on my own. I've dreamt about it in the past, knowing that we may not be good for one another. Things began to deteriorate in the last 1-2 years. Ups and downs, good and terrible. But the ability for badness was shown. Sure, I liked her and enjoyed her company. But there was a laundry list of things we didn't agree on or disliked about each other. And I'm aware that I still have a lot of life to live and things to give the world. So I've always pondered, what if I went my own way? And now, I'll have the opportunity. Granted, it was forced in my face without giving me the time to properly decide on my own. But the option is still in front of me. My shattered sentiments and emotions are the last component of the pie. This is the stinking pie. I know it's natural to feel these feelings, and I know many of you have / are going through it, but man, it stinks. My mind is okay, but my heart is devastated. I'm placing my trust in time, being active, and connecting with others to be my remedies in this situation. I am positive about the future, yet I am still unwell and experiencing symptoms. Last but not least, it shocks me how moved on she already seems to be. Aside from practicalities, we don't communicate or text anymore. And of course, I have no idea what she is thinking or feeling right now. It may be quite difficult for her as well. But I think I was expecting a bit more than, sorry for a few days, start blaming others for a few weeks, then go on with life. For example, she's been at home with her family and friends during the holidays, and I'm curious about the talks they've had. We just had everyone 2 months ago for our wedding. What kind of tale are they getting? In the grand scheme of things, I realize that her folks won't really matter to me or my future. It simply aches a bit more over the holidays. Thank you for taking the time to read and listen to my story. I wish everyone a happy new year and many nice things in 2022.